specifically last year when my daughter came home with bruises on her arm from another child, grabbing her hat off of her, pulling her down, or when they were outside playing tag and rocks got thrown at her and she came home with marks on her head. I've never received an incident report about that. I've also sent emails that I have documentation that I did bring it up.
Faith, in each of those instances, were they addressed?
They were, but how come I didn't get a report?
There's no report. It doesn't rise to a report level.
You just said there was a report.
I know, you just said that there's an incident
There's a
report
report
that
we
needs
have to
be
do.
done.
None of us
For
have gotten one.
bullying.
There's,
Yes.
You don't
there's
think
3
that's
of us here.
bullying?
Not a single one of us have a report for our children.
And it's
Do we
all the
not see an
same
issue with
child
this?
over and
All the
over and
same
over
kid,
again.
bullying.
But it's not bullying.
It may be the definition, because it sounds as if, I haven't heard about any of this, so, but it sounds as if there were incidents on the playground, yes?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, so the incidents on the playground, were they interactions
Malicious?
between
Absolutely.
kids? Were they interactions between
Rocks.
kids?
Why are kids throwing rocks? And where are the
Playing tag.
teachers?
They're supposed to be playing tag.
Where are the
and she got
teachers?
rocks thrown at her to tag her.
Okay, that's
And
it,
hit her
that's-
in the head and
All right.
came at her and
I-
left
I'm-
marks on her.
Okay, I cannot speak to past history, but if it was seen as bullying versus misbehavior, okay, now there's a difference. There is a difference between misbehavior, kids being mean to each other, because kids are kids, and kids purposefully singling out individuals
Mhm.
to attack
Uh-huh.
in various ways, which is according to our policy.
And it has been. The 3 years we've been coming here, it's been the
So this is-
same child.
This is what I brought up.
Every single time.
This is what I brought up at the last meeting. I have to point this out. So my concern was that my daughter's instances were not labeled as bullying, and they were, to me, in my opinion, felt like they were being downplayed. When you bring up the bullying policy, it says if a child feels this way or this is happening to this child, all the 5 or 6 criteria, I said I could probably check off 3 or 4 of those, which means that my daughter's being bullied. So one person may say, oh, maybe it's just kids misbehaving, but if her child feels a certain way, then it's bullying.
And so the process is the child reports to the adult at the current time. And if you feel that it was a bullying situation, then you would contact the teacher, administrator, and there would be the initiation of a process. So if we don't know about past history,
I have emails first time.
Well,
I
and
don't
I
want to
was,
look at them.
again, Faith,
They're all in writing.
Faith, each of those instances that you reported were followed through
I know.
and reported back to you
But
and
if you
your
want,
husband.
I don't know how it's not, you don't consider it bullying when it's the same child.
Why is this
and it's
child
been
still in the
3
school?
years and it's the same kid
I think that
over and over again. So to say that she's not being targeted or things are misbehaving turns into bullying. And it has. And it's been ridiculous. It's been
Really
super
bad.
ridiculous.
And I think the concern is that there's repeated behaviors, and again, we're not, I don't know about children, I'm just saying in general, repeated behaviors from a repeated child that's bullying another child. Why? This is why I want the bullying policy to change, because if something continuously happens, when is it enough is enough? When is it no more? If a child's coming home with, again, I can't speak for Faith, but if her child's coming home with marks on her, what is it gonna take? And that's why I want it so specific, like, okay, well, if this child leaves marks on another child, there's gotta be strikes. There's gotta be a point where you just can't allow this child to come to school anymore. And I think that's where their frustration is Faith and I are friends, so you know, she's told me some of the incidents that happened, and it's like, and I'm freaking out about my own incident, you know, so it's, when is enough is enough? Because I pulled my child, I just spoke with Brittany today, she pulled her child, and Faith is like, maybe I have to pull mine, so let's keep the bullies here, and let's let all the kids that want to be here leave because they're not safe, they don't feel safe, they're scared, and that's
Sad.
it's sad. So when's enough is enough?
so my understanding is that the behavior of this particular child who has created this situation has improved, given various,
Okay, yeah, I'm done.
Well, I can't.
Sorry.
So I don't know what child is bullying
Or I'm gonna get in trouble.
her child. I have no idea. I didn't ask. I know who's Faith, and it's a different child.
Okay.
So
All right, well, I'm just saying that if things rise to a level that there appears to be repeated incidents, that the consequences that have been meted out do not improve the behavior, then there's some next steps which you're following. And we can't talk about, Brian, we can't talk about the consequences to the various children. And so you're following up as you should, and it's important to do so. I hear what you're saying. We all hear what you're saying. If there's a point where there's a situation that's untenable, then something needs to be done. And, we are looking into it. We just haven't had a meeting since this.
Well, I can tell you, we have deployed additional resources as we have been in monitoring, and all of the steps that we have always done are heightened and being addressed. And the school is safe, the kids are safe, the adults are safe. We're dealing with incidents as they come up, and I am following all of our procedures.
and maybe it's not enough then. Maybe it's not enough. If a child's still coming home quite often with still
Just issues all the
issues,
time.
then it's.
I know we
And
talked
again,
about this,
you're-
but I'm coming
You
here
and I
to-
talked, we talked
I know.
about this in.
I know.
But that's not fair. I mean, we had this conversation,
I know we
Faith.
did.
And you're coming in with, and if I were to ask the board, is Faith's daughter, is she experiencing, based on what you're saying tonight, is she experiencing difficulties this year? And we talked about that. No.
I know that.
I know, but so you're saying, what are we doing? When
I
you-
know, but I'm
when
here
you-
so I can hear
When you
everything.
brought it up last year, and every time
And
you
the
brought
year before.
anything up, I have addressed it.
I'm not saying
And
you
I have
didn't.
said, and I said to you the other day, this year, has it been better? Absolutely, your husband attested to that.
I understand that. I'm not blaming you for anything or telling you that you're not doing it. I'm looking for the next steps. So the next time that she does come home, because there is going to be another issue, we can guarantee it because it happens all the time, then I know what was said, what's happening, so that I am here myself, not hearing it from a third party. I'm here so I understand what's happening next.
So I'm confused, because I'm hearing that this year there have been none or fewer incidents.
Fewer, not none, but
Okay.
fewer. But I'm also here, when I talk to other parents too, I'm also here now because of other parents and their kids. Like,
But what's
I'm
fewer?
trying-
How many? Off the top of your head, how many incidents have happened so far this school year?
3.
3 incidences.
Yeah.
So,
So-
from a parent's or school's perspective, incidents are getting better. But when your child's coming home still with stuff happening, those incidents, even though they're far and few, they're still happening to our children. It's still happening. One is too many. And saying, oh, well, things are getting better, so keep coming to school, even though most likely something else is going to happen. So let's re-traumatize the child and reintroduce them because this child's getting better. But our child is still there, taking the brunt as this child is supposedly progressing. And that's my problem, and that's why I had to pull Riley. Okay, maybe there was only 2 incidences, but it's 2 incidents too many with all the other ones that are happening. So let's keep our children in school, a chance of them having another episode where they're coming home crying or upset or end up getting hurt because another child's... How many chances does it take? 20, 30, 50? But this child is progressing, so let's let it keep happening. And yes, we are addressing it. There's certain things that are being put in place. I get that. But again, how many times is it going to take? When is it going to really be like, oh yeah, you know what? We really need to do something where this child should not be here anymore. Because they're physically harming another child. Or there's a chance that they could physically harm another child. Or a child feels fearful. It doesn't make any sense to me that, well, the child's getting better and there's less instances. There's still an incident. It shouldn't happen. My daughter should not have to go into fight or flight because another incident on this child's feeling better. Or she shouldn't have said something to trigger him. Are you kidding me? Her child is having incidents that are happening and we're saying the child's getting better. That's crap. Her child, when is it going to take her to be fearful? When is it going to take her to not want to come to school? Or she's in fight or flight? How many more incidences? That blows, I'm sorry, for my frustration, but it blows my mind that let's make an excuse and say the child's getting better, so it's less, so it's okay. It's not okay.
Well, the point being is that we have worked on it, and it has, it has improved. It's not like we didn't pay attention and didn't do anything, and that we haven't taken steps to interact and to lessen whatever was happening in the past. So I just want to make sure that the point is that it's not like people didn't pay attention. They didn't pay attention to the degree that we all hoped would be it, right? And and I understand the frustration.
I do too.
Yeah, I mean, it's not like
We all,
yeah.
we get it.
And so, I understand, and I know that there's current steps underway that have, just had a couple of weeks to be implemented, and we have not, again, haven't had a meeting to discuss it or address it, and, no, I understand completely.
Well, I guess the confusion that I have is, again, reports were made. I hear that there's more vigilance out in the playground, in the classroom. And I guess I could confused at how things are still happening, and I don't know. I don't get a daily report, but you're saying, has it just been dropped? No, I hear there's the teachers, the other adults are all looking out